Hello, everyone. Today is Saturday, September 16th, 2023 at 9:05 a.m. in the morning. I not long ago woke up, almost an hour ago, but my sleep was not great at all. It wasn't good at all. So, but after 4:30, I don't remember if I had any sleep before 4:30 this morning. Excuse me. I don't remember if I had any sleep before 4:30 this morning, but I had a difficult time trying to fall asleep. And then after 4:30, I fell asleep, and then I had like some scary, traumatizing dream manipulation kind of nightmares. Excuse me. So, this is considered permanent housing. But the online gang stalkers, I told y'all that they're making threats to have, it's more than one of them, making threats to have me evicted and, making threats to have me evicted and back homeless again. And trying to frighten and intimidate, bully, and scare me. When it's none of it, my life is not their business. They're outsiders, unwelcome outsiders looking in. I have them banned from commenting on my channel. I wish there was a way that YouTube, if you block somebody, then they can't see anything, but they know where your account is, even on other social media platforms. And all they do is, if you block them on one account, then they know everything you're doing because they secretly stalking you from other accounts. And they will always keep another spare account open to keep tabs on, watching everything you do. And you don't have the authority to do this. Y'all some random internet strangers. Like, I don't even know y'all. Some of y'all been stalking me for almost 4 years, and then I don't even know what your face look like, and I don't know your real name. Or some people, they be these mystery people, that, like, I just found out, like, if Kimberly Harper been stalking, following it, and stuff like that, and harassing. Well, she didn't start off with harassing me, but she pretended to be fake support. But then all of a sudden, like, she was just giving rude comments here and there, And then she came and attacked me on one of my videos about 2.5 years ago. And then after she attacked me, then she begged me not to block her. And then said, well, I'm not used to this lifestyle. Like, all the information I put out, and you didn't care to do your research. You just care about stalking my suffering. At first, she used to give, like, supportive comments and even talk about God and everything else. And then, afterwards, like, she started to give, like, slick, rude comments. And, sometimes I give people a chance, or I get told that I'm wrong if I block somebody the first offense with them saying something harsh or rude. Be told that I'm not allowed to do that. Now, people tell me to stand up for myself and don't let people run over you. they try to tell me not to let people run over me. But then when I do stand up for myself, I'm considered a troublemaker. So it wasn't until earlier this year that was the first time, a few months ago, I finally saw what Kimberly Harper looks like. I I think it was last year around me and my twin sister's birthday was when I first heard what she sounded like. But they keep themselves private. They'll even keep their username private and keep, but they'll keep stalking everything you do and harassing you, you know, and they narcissistically brag and laugh about me getting banned from everywhere. So David Jane, he made another fake new account to harass me and made 16 comments. And so it had to have been, again, in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. And David must be living somewhere else, because it seemed like as if he never was going to get out of that the place that he was living at when I was living in Los Angeles. I mean, David had moments where he was at wit's end and begged me and cried and begged for me to come stay by me because it was unbearable where he was at. I had to save David, and can't even save myself, but I had to save David from being bullied by that roommate Christian. And David was in tears, crying. David was crying. David is about to be on the 18th. He's about to be I guess he's about to be 43 years old. But David's 3 years older than me. Well, almost 3 years older than me. And, excuse me. So then, he was making comments saying, don't wish Candy a happy birthday because she's evil and she films people. And then he said, yes, you are banned from everywhere. And, he tried to make a fake account called Big Girl, but David himself was crying and having a meltdown about fake Ben Lim, who I call Ben Fraud, from the fake Hell's Way Church, or the fake Hell's Way cult. Excuse me, that Ben Lim guy was a religious narcissist and Korean, very narcissistic. And, David came crying to me about how Ben Lim said that me and David are the greediest in the church. And it's like Ben Lim was doing fake missionary work, brainwashing people in Africa or whatever other foreign countries he was brainwashing people. And Ben Lim sold his soul to the devil. And on my Targeted by the PsychWorld WordPress blog, that I wish I would have kept that blog up, but due to me not being able to block the harassing comments, and plus the so-called TI community, everybody was ignoring my blog posts anyway, and the only stuff that I was getting was like harassing comments, so I shut that blog down. But on Blogger, I can't embed pictures or videos really, and the links won't even turn into hyperlinks. And so I'm and they be having narcissistic people trying to control how I use my blog, or try to control how I post on TikTok or whatever, you know. And they be the main ones who I'm like, you only want me to change this around just to make things easier for you, not to help me, but to make things easier for you. And then I end up having an argument or falling out with you. Or they want to dish out unsolicited advice to try to belittle you and treat you like you don't know no better. And a lot of them be younger than me. So I remember putting up a blog post about Ben Lim and pictures of Ben Lim, throwing up satanic hand signs. I'm like, ain't no fucking way. And that guy, Eric, was a registered sex offender. Eric Gullickson. And he been in and out of prison for who knows what. You know. And, excuse me, and with the fake Hell's Way Church, Eric was just faking it. Eric wasn't even a real pastor. He was just faking it. And so I didn't even realize that Eric thought I was greedy. And if I would have known that, I would have either never gone, I would have left sooner than I did. And I think Eric was mad at me for leaving. And so he smear campaigned me behind my back. And David Jane will always tell me that Eric would smear campaign me as a prostitute to other, that he would smear campaign me to the church while I was gone, and lied and said that I was out prostituting. Well, I would be at home researching Illuminati, New World Order, and natural health, and something they even had an issue with me doing. You know. So I had to discover real and true Christianity on my own after dealing with the fake IDMR cult, and then bouncing around from church to church and being abused and rejected and unaccepted in whatever church I'm supposed to go to. And I stayed at the fake Hell's Way Church for I don't remember if it was March or April, all the way through, like, I remember I quit going for a couple of months and then came back in November or December, and then more abuse happened and I was done for good. And then went to no church for a long time. And then, like, the next year, try to go. I mean, I went to. It was like 6 months later, like June or July. I tried to attend certain churches near my area, and it was in 2013, and they rejected me, and ran me out of those churches. And then they had this abusive, narcissistic pedo perp named, I used to call him Bleach Face Carl, because Bleach Face Carl would, you know, it looked like as if he had like I don't, it wasn't vitiligo, but it was some kind of other, looked like as if he had skin discoloration from maybe he probably shave off too much off of his beard or something, and had like permanent skin discoloration from something like that. But he was a religious narc and told a bunch of lies and was abusive towards me. And then there was another lady in that church that said that Carl hadn't attended that church in years, but he suggested I go to this church or whatever. And those ladies, black ladies, were, at that church somewhat near my neighborhood, and when I was living in Los Angeles. And one of the ladies told me that Carl hasn't attended that church in years, but those ladies, I wasn't even homeless. I had a place to live and, cleaning, taking a shower just about every day. And those ladies treated me like they treated me like they thought I was too good. I mean, they thought they were too good to allow me to ride in their car just a few blocks home. And that's the church where it was a black fake pastor that valued football more than salvation. And he would always, and a lot of narcissistic fake Los Angeles pastors would be talking about, everything, always talking about pimps and stuff like that. Pimps and prostitutes. That's all they talk about. But these sold out Masonic 501c3 abusive, narcissistic, fake, hypocritical church pastors, people call them prosperity pimps. So nobody says, and nobody questions the fake pastor's pseudo authority. And people fear and worship the pastor as God. And you hear about churchianity, where you worship the church and the pastor more than the real God and the Bible. And the pastor, one of the main things they talk about is prostitutes and pimps. And even Eric from the fake Hell's Way Church, that sex offender, would he would lie and behind my back and say that I'm out prostituting, and that's why I wasn't going to the fake Hell's Way Church. But I would be in my home, reading and researching as much as I could about Illuminati, New World Order, natural health. And then I had to, after that ordeal with the racist Korean pastor downtown, with that fake New City Church, and David Jane told me about that church. And so I just quit going to church. Even here in Pensacola, I tried to, when I was new here, I tried a few churches to go to. They're not good. Even in Jefferson, Shrewsbury, tried to go to a church more than once. And it's like you go to church and everybody just look at you like you come from planet Mars or something. They look at you really weird. So, it was, I don't even know if it was the day before I got raped by the Freemason, or it was a couple of Fridays before that, but I've read, what got me, it was a YouTube comment on some video that somebody said demons fear and hate the name of Jesus. And that's what got me to accept Jesus into my heart and start believing. But it took me another almost 6 months before I can feel comfortable with saying the name of Jesus, because of being programmed with the fake IDMR cult, with their fake names and stuff, their own fake version of sacred name movement. So I mean, mostly, like, after the biological mom, Frances, died, like, well, when I tried to go to that New City church, I was calling myself trying to seek advice about being abused by foster and biological family members and everything. And all these churches, they became more abusive and ran me off and didn't offer me any consolation or support. I didn't realize they were a bunch of churches full of narcs themselves. Self-righteous and fake. So a week after I tried to give church another chance, dealing with New City Church, David James suggested I go there. Because David James suggested I go to this church and it turned out to be a cult called this fake good news cult that was in Koreatown. And it was a white man, I don't remember his name, but he was speaking incorrectly, and that was before I found out it was actually a cult, though, I think. And so I asked a question the first day, and that was the only time I ever went there, and I spent all day, and the man, he said, "You're not God. You don't have any wisdom." And I threatened to leave, and then they try to beg me to stay or try to manipulate and convince me to stay. But at that good news cult, it seemed like a communal cult, but people were living there. And just like the fake Jehovah's Witnesses, like, how do people in cults, they dress nice and have cars, but they appear to be jobless? They be jobless. But I mean, the fake IDMR cult people, they actually had jobs and even ran their own businesses. But other cults, like the fake Good News cult and the fake Jehovah's Witness people, they stay with a car and always dress in their dress clothes and everything. But the fake Mormon people too, they seem like they never have a job, but they always have a car and got dress clothes, dressy clothes to wear. But they're able to have a car and stay with a car, But the fake IDMR cult don't love me enough that they would help me to get a damn car. I mean, me struggling with homelessness, they wouldn't even want to give me a place to live. And if I did, I would have to be subjected to abuse, just like the family. Just like the foster or biological, stand with any of the foster or biological family members. They'll be abusive and exploitative. So they had this website, I can't think of the name of it, but they expose Freemasonry and bad Christianity. And on the guy's website, he said that you don't need to go to church to worship God, that you could accept God right into your heart at home, and you can worship and fellowship with God at home, But a lot of these churches manipulate and twist everything, and try to make it like as if you have to go to physical church. And they'll use Hebrews 10 verses 24 through 25, with the fake, to forsake not assembling, But it's like, how you're supposed to forsake not the assembling, but you get banned from the church or treated like you're not wanted there, or you're not welcome. And I dealt with some other abusive fake churches, like that church with Chad and Fabiola Wallen, or whatever their name was. not all that far from my house too. And I even tried a few churches in Greenville, South Carolina, and they used to have these abusive, narcissistic, racist white people that would give me mean looks, give me this kind of death, hate, anger, like this church called Clearview Baptist Church in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. I went a few times, and those people were fake and mean. They were not nice. They had a song called a different version of Amazing Grace that I liked the instrumental, and I asked them if I could if there was a way that I can get like a copy of that song. and they were rude to me. I even offered to pay for it just to listen to it for personal use, because I like that instrumental of that version of the song. And it's like always a lot of time in a church setting where people would the fake Adiyamara cult was no different. Whereas everybody like everybody in the fake Adiyamara cult, or everybody in church, that they just sit there and gossip and talk bad about you and laugh at you and make fun of you. And a lot of people have horror stories about church abuse. They have horror stories about church abuse. Excuse me. So, but yeah, how is it you accept Jesus Christ into your heart, and then the next day you get raped by a satanic Freemason, though, the next day? But I got no sleep the night before the rape. For some reason, I got absolutely no sleep that night, that Friday night. So they so I've been traumatized by church so much that I vowed to never go to church again. Like when I was in Bloomington, I didn't go to church at all. And that religious narcissist, that Marky Davidson guy, I had to block him for being smart ass, using the Bible to try to be smart ass, rude, and disrespectful, and try to make me feel bad. So it seemed like he was being narcissistic and try to control what I tweet and try to control how I post on my blog and everything. And then he pretended that he pretended that he's not a narcissist and try to act like he has the authority to speak against narcissism when you're narcissistic and controlling your damn self. It's like I know a lot of people who act narcissistic towards me and controlling, and then they want to say these narcissists are this, they're that, and like, motherfucker, you're one of them. Shut up. You're one of them. Shut up. But I'm the one who always got nerve to call anyone a narcissist. From a narc themselves, they say that I got my nerve to call anyone a narcissist, or I got my nerve to call anyone ugly or talk bad about anybody, but they can sit and laugh and talk about me all day. So, yeah, Ben Lim, he locked David in a hot car during the summer as punishment for smoking a cigarette. And David Jane is, me and David, we're both older than Ben Fraud, abusive, narcissistic Ben Fraud, Ben Lim. And then David Jane was trying to tell me that Ben Lim was stalking and following him everywhere. Like even stalking him and following him at the gym and certain other places. So I mean, the fake Hell's Way church was full of abusive, narcissistic perps. Even Eric was a damn perp. And Eric didn't give a damn. Like, what's the point? Like, if there's a pastor that don't give a damn about you, and they're all about control, but they don't care about you. And Eric used to throw up satanic hand signs at church and lull people to sleep with neurolinguistic programming. And you go to certain other churches that it's either they're not fake preaching, either fake preaching or using fake CCM, Christian contemporary music, to make you cry or lull you to sleep and manipulate you. And so many people be like demon possessed in the churches, or they be like under hypnosis and mind control in the churches. So a lot of these truthers are, even people who practice witchcraft themselves be like, leave the churches, stay away from the churches. And then you deceiving people with your witchcraft. Like they had somebody, I don't remember her name, but it was a YouTube video years ago. And she bragged and laughed. It was a black female that practiced witchcraft or something. She's like, leave the churches now. But she told disinformation, like half-truths. She told certain things, I guess enough truth to get people to be on her side. But then she was deceiving and manipulating. And a lot of these so-called churches, what they say compromise, sold out to the devil. And they be having a lot of fake Christian churches that have Masonic symbolism on the side of the building. I mean, it was very rampant in my hometown, New Orleans. Like almost every Baptist church had Freemason symbolism. Even some churches in the ghetto hood here in Pensacola, there might be a Baptist church with Freemason symbolism on the side of the building. And those are the churches that be set up for the food banks and everything. They probably be giving the public cursed food. And they might have like churches that's run by a woman, where the woman is a pastor, which is not supposed to be. So but it seems like with people with narcissistic personalities, they act like as if they grant themselves a license to be a hypocrite, but quick to call you a hypocrite. Especially when you're speaking the truth and they don't like it, then they will use your past. Like they tell you forget and let go of the past, but they will throw events in your face from events from when you were 2 years old to use that to falsely justify why you're considered a hypocrite. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that no more, and I was a child and didn't know any better. Like the foster sister Shelley talk about that I'm a thief because I used to steal Al's money when I was 2 years old. And she said, well, yeah, you're a thief. Well, you're a grown-ass woman stealing from me, and then blame it on your stepdaughter, Chastity, or you blame it on the foster boy, Nick, or the foster boy, Richard. Shelley used to snoop through my stuff and steal from me and gaslight and hide my belongings and stuff like that for no reason and all that too. Hellface Shelly was a damn perp. The fake foster sister Shelly. You know. And then to see Shelly 10 years later, I haven't seen or heard from her in 10 years. I saw her in 2007 and then didn't see or hear from her until 2017. And she still give me this look with hate and jealousy and treat me like as if my presence is not welcome. And they look down on you like they think they're so much better than you. Shelly was my age, tattling like a freaking toddler. Or she would bully her ass and laugh at me. And I'm now 40, but she used to. I used to be like, well, wow, ain't this a 39-year-old tattletale? Back in 2006. She used to tattle to the foster mom with everything, just like Mark would tattle to the biological mom about everything about me. And they would even spread lies. But as I said, even biological family members would, they know exactly what I did all day. I used to question whether or not Mark had secret cameras watching me, or if Pete had secret cameras watching me. But my twin sister would be living in Mississippi, and I would be living, or Texas, and I would be living in Los Angeles. And she think that she can tell me what I did all day. And other narcissistic control freak fake TI perps try to make it like that's not possible. Well, the brief moment that I stayed by Pete, he would be gone to work with a construction job and then come home and tell me everything I did that day. And when Mark sent for me to come live with him, Mark was doing the same thing. But I heard that it'd be like spiritual or, part of the gang stalking, and narcissistic control freak fake TI perps act like as if they don't believe me, or like as if it's impossible, or like as if I'm just talking nonsense. But I know the truth and I'm sticking with it. Narcissistic control freak fake TI perps think that they can tell me more than I can tell me when my targeting started. I know that my targeting started behind Lanika from that Kraft family. So you don't have the authority to try to make it like I'm crazy and like as if that's not what happened. Okay, you know better than me, but you're way younger than me, young enough to be my child, and you think that you know all there is to know. Well, because you're a Freemason perp and you are the confidential informant and falsely projecting that onto me and lying and saying that I'm a think spy agent and confidential informant. And you think that making your voice verbally louder or audibly louder makes you more truthful. But I put out my evidence as recent of last night, and y'all still twisted that I'm the one harassing people. But y'all keep gaslighting y'all keep gaslighting y'all way to hell. Y'all will never believe the truth because y'all the ones who's brainwashed and chemically and medically brainwashed. That you see the truth and still don't believe it. So that's how you can twist everything and lie and say that I'm delusional. I'm the one who's living in a fantasy land. I'm the one who's the liar. I'm the one who's everything XYZ. But a delusional person trying to say that the person who knows the truth is the one that's delusional. But a real targeted individual would not call you schizophrenic or make any address at you having mental problems because they don't like you or because they're mad at you. and then they stay mad forever. That's why I say y'all can't be chosen by God, because y'all don't even have mercy, love, charity, or forgiveness in your heart. Y'all want to stay mad forever because you couldn't have your way with trying to control somebody. So if narcissistic control freak, fake TI perps, and regular perps, they would even make it like me living in this low income apartment is wasting my money. Oh, you really want me to be homeless that bad? You really want me to be punished with homelessness on the streets that bad? Well, I finally was able to get rid of my storage unit. And I said, I'm going to try my best not to let the perps make me back homeless again. But I guess I'll just, excuse me, if I had to end up back homeless again, I might have to just leave everything behind except important documents and the clothes on my back. And everything else that I thought I held near and dear to me, I guess I have to just let everything go except the clothes on my back and important documents. After this past experience, I'm not getting a storage unit anymore. Because they take advantage of stealing, and it be considered legitimate business model and legitimate business practice. So I had this one nightmare or one dream about riding a bus, riding a school bus. And then I ended up homeless and at some place that was portrayed as a mall. And my twin sister was there in the dream, eating at what was portrayed at a food court. And I thought I had a dream about this scenery before, but I never experienced it in real life. And then I don't know if it was the same dream or another dream. Excuse me, where instead of renting a cabin, I rented a trailer, like a mobile home trailer or something, back in my hometown, New Orleans. And in the dream, I was evicted the first day, like shortly after moving in, evicted the first day and put out on the streets. And then my twin sister and the foster sister, Joni, either one of them, both of them were hanging out with each other, and they both militantly refused to let me stay by them, either one of them. And so in a dream, I was forced to be back homeless on the streets again. And then I woke up traumatized and scared because I thought it was really real, and I thought I was really experiencing it. And then I woke up out of the dream confused, and I felt a relief to be back here because that seemed like traumatic. But I know that was the gang stalking, directed energy weapons, and dream manipulation. And last night, the neighbors made their dogs suffer on purpose. They made their dogs suffer on purpose just to keep me awake all night. And I have video. I used the video, but it was dark time, but you can hear the audio of the noise. So I try to go to sleep at 11:40. Well, it was before 11:45. I try to go to sleep because I originally tried to go to sleep at about was it 9:15 or 9:30, and still couldn't sleep. And then 11:45, I tried to sleep. Because it was about 10:30, I was trying to sleep, and they had some noise or commotion, or people talking. And so I had to put my earbuds back in. And then when I tried to make a final attempt at going to sleep, the neighbors had the dog to keep howling and crying and beating and banging on the door. And that kept me awake. I don't know if they locked the dog up in the bathroom or what they did. But you're going to sit there to torture the dog just to keep me awake. Excuse me. You torture the dog just to keep me awake. And yesterday, I tried to make a very important phone call. It was all quiet. Around 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock or 3:30 yesterday afternoon, I was trying to make important phone calls to try to try to make sure the food stamp case in Texas was closed. And I was afraid of certain things, and my anxiety was really high. And then my anxiety was already high, and then the neighbors from where the dog is, it was at least 5 people on that porch, and they were all talking loud. Like they waited until strategically waited for me to have the important phone conversation to come outside on the porch and just start talking really loud. And that agitated me even more, So I was like having like panic episodes and feeling high anxiety stemming from what happened, with the Social Security thing, But the lady told me everything was all right. Well, I'm scared because of what happened with the Social Security thing. Back in late June, like I'm scared to try to apply for food stamps here in Pensacola. Like I'm scared to try to apply for food stamps. So, I was feeling panicky and afraid. And so, like, I'm scared to even apply for food stamps here. So, because of the Social Security thing. But when that lady threatened to suspend my benefits, I wasn't sure whether she was talking about all my benefits, both SSI and Social Security, or just the SSI benefits. Because like, well, if it's just $24, I'm not gonna chase after $24. But if you're attacking all the income I have, then yeah, that's something to battle. As I said, with the Social Security check, I've been told the whole time that I am entitled to those benefits. If I'm so entitled, why the foster mom was stealing it from me, stealing my checks from me, robbing me, stealing. Nobody called her a scam and a fraud. Nobody called her greedy. Nobody called her a greedy scammer. She used my freaking back pay money to go buy a van with it. And she knew how to pull strings to get cheaper deals on cars and everything. Excuse me. And yesterday, it smelled like weed. Like I didn't like. It smelled like weed all day in my house, up in here. Apartment. It smelled like weed all day. all day long. And, you know, when I heard their noise and commotion, I was trying to figure out where that noise was coming from. They all huddled together and was talking loud. And as soon as I ended the phone conversation, they dispersed. So, I mean, and it was hard for me to get through to somebody. You know, I tried to call the local food stamp office. Nobody was answering their phone. And I tried to call this hotline, that hotline, this phone number, that number. And I finally got through to the office in Austin, Texas. So I finally was able to get through to somebody. And she was nice and respectful. And, you know, she told me everything looked good, you know, and that the case is closed. But she said that the Medicaid won't close until the end of the month, because I let them know my updated address and everything like that, you know. So as I said, like, I didn't even know that I had to report stocks. And that was my first and last time ever doing that, you know, and I didn't even have the stocks for a whole year. And I felt an emotional depression because the stocks kept going down, you know. And I felt like, well, this is some undeserved punishment. Or did I invest in the wrong stocks? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. They made it sound so easy, you know. But I thought it was one, but I didn't. It had been so long and the information wasn't in front of me. So I didn't realize that I had two stocks. I thought it was one. And I didn't even remember which stocks they were. But, you know, they'll be narcissistic enough to falsely accuse you of lying when you weren't trying to lie maliciously, intentionally, or on purpose. They won't accept that you forgot. You know, you're not allowed to forget when it comes to narcissistic abuse. So, yeah, it smelled like weed for so many hours up in here yesterday. It's like, how is it possible that if I can smell weed or cigarettes with all my doors and windows closed? With everything closed, how could it smell like weed or cigarettes? I'd be smelling it up in here, especially the weed, and the weed would burn my nose. The weed smell burns my nose. So, like, I received two notes yesterday. I received two notes yesterday. Well, the man, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, the man popped up unexpectedly without warning. They said it's supposed to give us at least 48 hours warning, you know, but that man, he popped up unexpectedly and did the pest control for the roaches. Now, the roaches, the day he came, that night and the day after, the roaches got worse. But if it was Wednesday when he came, then yeah, Wednesday and Thursday I saw roaches, but then Friday, yesterday, I didn't see not one roach at all. I didn't see any roaches at all. So I guess it seemed like as if it got worse before it got better. So they said that they're gonna come for to pest control for roaches and rodents. And then they said that it will also be an inspection too. You know, like, man, this is stressful for me and causing me anxiety. You know, it's stressful for me and causing me anxiety because, you know, like, I usually have my stuff in storage bins that I've been having for years. If I've been having storage bins for years, but I can't afford like dressers and armoires and all that, you know. So they said that they will be inspecting for cleanliness and everything. Like they said they will be inspecting for cleanliness and stuff like that. I feel like this is unfair. Can y'all give me a break? I'm brand new here, you know. But I mean, I'm not sure what kind of cleanliness they're looking for, but I feel like I had I need to go through my clothes. I mean, go through my storage bins and see what needs to be thrown away, like old bus schedules from New Orleans or Los Angeles or something. Old bus schedules, you know, and who knows what else, or brochures from certain restaurants or whatever, you know. But I didn't even realize that I had so much trash and stuff that's useless, you know. But I do know it was mixed up with a lot of the important stuff. But due to my homelessness and struggle to survive, and the fact that there was no place to throw away trash, you know, at the storage unit. So I couldn't like I had to weed out the trash from the important stuff. But, you know, like as I said, when I had to leave in 2018 in an emergency, you know, and ended up homeless. And then, you know, I even have years old bars of soap. Like this big old bottle of Dr. Bronner's soap, it went rancid. And so I heard that you can get sick from, if the soap is organic and natural and it's Castile liquid soap, then I heard that you can get sick. I heard you can get sick. So I did wash myself. I mean, not my body. I washed my hands a few times with it, but then I found out it's not good, so I threw it away. I don't know if I had that thing for at least 5 or 6 years or something. I don't know how long I had it. But some bars of soap that I came across, like um a few bars of soap that I came across that the essential oil smell, whether it be orange, peppermint, lavender, or something, the smell is a faint smell, like, but they said the bar soap is still safe to use, but not the liquid soap, unless it's chemical soap, you know. But so I still got like a lot of soap, you know, soap from before I became homeless, and some soap that I had accumulated while I was homeless, and soap that I accumulated while I was staying in hotels and motels. So it would be good because of the idea of being a prepper, you know, prepping and survival. Um, but I don't have years worth of soap, but I got a lot of soap, you know. But from health fairs or homeless outreach or whatever, got toothbrushes, you know, I got toothbrushes, and I got more floss than I thought I did. But I don't have a whole lot of floss, But I got some books. Not a whole lot of books. Not enough for a bookshelf, but I got me some books. I try to get rid of the Spanish books because I have zero interest in any more learning Spanish anymore. You know, can't even make friends with people in English or American people. How the hell am I supposed to? And Spanish people always hated me. Hispanics always hated me. They never really liked me anyway. And Asians hate me even more. So I totally give up on Spanish. Anything like any Spanish career or language or anything like that. And people didn't want me to succeed. They wanted me to fail. Even if they got to cheat their way to make things look like I failed. Excuse me. I would never forget what that abusive, narcissistic perp Allison Dundee from New York University, what she did to me. I didn't realize she was a perp. An abusive, narcissistic perp. And they do something fucked up, cruel, and strange towards you. But if they have a certain place of business that get high reviews, like if they have a place of business that's abusive and rude towards me, but they get high perfect 5.0 reviews. So for quite a few years, Uber drivers have given, I had like a perfect 5.0 rating on all of my interactions. But then when I exposed them as a perp, then they falsely make my rating, they make false reports on giving me a bad rating or for revenge, fake revenge punishment. So I noticed that on my Uber account, I have a rating of 4.84 when for the longest I've had a 5.0. Perfect 5.0 for a long time. And they tainted that by making up lies because they were exposed as obvious perps with one headlight. Like if they know they're a perp and drive with one headlight and breaking the law, and I report that, and then for revenge, they would give me like a fake bad rating. But at least my bad rating for them was real. You know, and they say it's dangerous, if people try to show up in a different vehicle from what they originally said, and then they'd be like, well, I actually had like I actually had you know, I actually had a Toyota Corolla, but my Toyota Corolla, I forgot to switch it on the app, and then they show up in in a Mitsubishi Outlander or something. And then I'd be confused. It'd be like a whole different vehicle and license plate. And they say, well, don't get in a car if the license plate or the vehicle does not match up with, and then that's a waste of time. Or set me back, But they do it a lot with DoorDash. Well, more like, I'm sorry, on Uber Eats. See, ghetto perp neighbors talking loud. Well, No, DoorDash, they don't really show you the car, the vehicle. They just show you let you know the name of the person. But with DoorDash, it might be somebody with the name Jennifer, and then a male shows up with one headlight or something. Like that perp named Stephanie who ate my food. I mean, it was a guy with the fake name Stephanie. He ate my food or tampered with my food. And then he showed up with one headlight and apparently on drugs. And the online perps gave me massive thumbs down on that video. And that was when I was staying at the down the street at that motel a few blocks down. So that was on Valentine's Day of last year, not this year, but last year. You know, so well, if it weren't for the two perps to be tipped, that would have been over a little bit over $15 I could have had. I mean, for this month, I probably could have had like at least $32 instead of 17 in a bank account right now, or a little bit more than that, maybe. But the laundromat that where I was washing my clothes in Bloomington, they keep giving me the runaround for trying to give me my $7 back, and I don't even know if I would get it back. But they took the funds off of my account, but I don't know if I would get that $7 back. But if I do get the $7 back, then that will be $24 I would have in my bank account for the month, for the rest of the month. You know. So I guess I have the next few days while being sleep deprived to have to to organize more and to organize the stuff out of my bins. Looks like I have 11 storage bins. And so I guess I'll have to try to organize and clean up, Yeah, I'm feeling anxiety about this so-called inspection, but I'm like, well, the manager she did tell me about the pest control on the 20th, but she didn't tell me that. I don't recall. Maybe she did, but I don't remember her telling me about an inspection also on that, also an inspection, but I do remember her telling me about a pest control. And so they say, make sure your place is clean or whatever, And the rules, I feel like whoever made up these rules has a narcissistic personality with making you feel like just because you're in low income housing, make you feel like you're living in prison and can't live the way you want to live or the way that you've been living, So, but I mean, it's a relief to be off the streets though, but to be like they got about as many rules as a homeless shelter. Living up in here, and other low income or Section 8 places or disabled places, I don't recall them having XYZ rules, But I said that the homeless shelters they try to outdo the Bible with how many rules there is, just like what cults do. And cults have so many unspoken rules, just like homeless shelters, that you get punished for something that wasn't in the rule book. But if they got such strict rules here, but then even the neighbors, they don't give a fuck and they just do whatever, I don't smoke anyway, and I hate absolutely any and everything having to do with cigarette or weed or anything else, or any drugs and alcohol. I don't like them. So, well, like, even the lady who got me in here, and also maybe the landlady, they stressed how much that there's not supposed to be smoking anywhere on a property, but I'm not gonna try to be a Karen and meddle in other people's business. But the problem is, your smoke from the weed or cigarettes, it enters into my place. And then the perp neighbors, they do stuff like, well, I don't have a car, but they said that one of the rules is you're not supposed to drive your car up like all on the grass, like by here, and the neighbors do it anyway. You're not supposed to blast loud music, but they do that anyway. You're not supposed to do this and do that, but they do just what the hell they want up in here. But I'll be damned if I got to be restricted to following XYZ rules to the T, while all the abusive, narcissistic, ghetto perp neighbors can do whatever, be free to break whatever rule and do whatever they want. So my ears they've been having itchiness and dryness. And in my left ear, when I have my earbuds in for the past like week or so, it feels like as if something is inside of my ear, that's deep inside of my ear, that and I don't know what it could be inside of my ear, or it feels like something is in my ear. I don't know if it might be trapped wax or dry skin or what else it could be. So but I didn't get around to writing any short stories yesterday. Excuse me. But, it's just me. Now, when I got furniture in Milwaukee for that place, I didn't know I was going to end up staying there just for a couple of months and have to be forced to break the lease because I couldn't afford to stay there after Hurricane Katrina. And the foster mom pretended to be fake outraged. Before then, she wanted me to have furniture, and then she got mad and said, she got mad and screamed at me for using the disaster money for my new place. I mean, she even tried to. I was 22 years old, and she was still controlling about how I should spend my money, while she would be stealing my money and try to control how I spend my money. And she got mad and went off and screamed at me. And she said, "What? I wouldn't have bought no furniture." And then, she would get mad and yell at me and say, "Well, y'all don't know the value of money." Well, motherfucker, you never taught us the value of money growing up. You illegally stole parenthood that you weren't entitled to, that you weren't supposed to have, because you didn't give birth to us. But her biological kids and the foster kids, she chose favoritism towards. She didn't let them do whatever, be free to do what the hell they wanted. But the foster kids she didn't like were the ones she was very extremely controlling and abusive. But me trying to fight back and stand up to her, the abuse got worse. But other people, other foster kids stood up to her, and I heard she backed down. You know. So, but I said I'm sick and tired of living on forced low income. But by this being a low income place, like when I was on Section 8, and I was working at the zoo and everything, and I got that new place. It was a part-time job. Part-time. And they raised my Section 8 rent up from like $154 a month all the way to like $495. They raised the rent up to $495. And then after I was forced to quit the job, they continued to charge me $495 and would not bring the rent back down. And that also partially has to do with why I ended up homeless in 2018. With that and the money hungry landlord sneaking behind my back and lying, about the cost on purpose, So at first the lady said I had to pay for water. Then she said I didn't have to pay for water. And then she kept raising the rent, and nobody called her fraudulent. But her sister was more honest than her. And I wrote a letter telling them off. And, the lady let me out of my lease and gave me my $700 back. And she let me out of my lease and gave me my $700 back. After I wish I would have known them to call them gang stalkers to their face, because they're sitting there rich, living a high life. Even the landlady here, you can tell. So all these people who be like landlords, landladies, or apartment managers, they be driving like luxury vehicles, and we sitting here poor. But it's like those ladies, they were both driving, like those landladies, they were driving like Mercedes and BMWs and everything like that, like brand new. And I heard that all your landlords be Masonic. It seems like you gotta be like a Freemason in order to get to be being like a business owner nowadays. Or you gotta have connections or know somebody. Yeah, they always like, that's how you know when something is Masonic. When people say that you got connections, it be Masonic connections. It's how they sell their soul to the devil and like got Masonic connections to do XYZ. Like even in Victoria, Texas, whether they be Mexican, Hispanic, or with a strong accent, or whether they be black, white, no matter who, like everybody, no matter what color or race, at the Victoria, Texas Section 8 or low income housing office, they all drive around in nice new cars. Just about everybody at the Social Security, whatever Social Security office, they all driving around in nice cars or brand new luxury SUVs, or brand new luxury vehicles. People who work at the DMV or work at the food stamp office, and they even people who work for CPS. And like, I don't want to hear shit about how social workers or CPS employees don't be making that much money, or that they don't make no money. Even the black female CPS workers, yeah, they be Masonic ghetto sellouts that make that make a handsome amount of money and be driving around fraudulently and illegally, driving around in brand new nice expensive luxury vehicles. But they got certain people who it's very frustrating to experience, like, have this weight pulled down on you to where you got to deal with forced or coerced poverty. But poverty that's like a trap, and it's like, if you get any form of riches, they want to criminalize you or treat you like you committed scam or fraud if you try to make a higher living. So, being on SSI, they make it like as if you can only work a certain amount and before they snatch your so-called benefits away. Or they want to penalize, and people on TikTok were talking about this, about how they basically penalize you. They won't even let a disabled person have a free will choice to make a living on their own by running their own restaurant. Unless you sell your soul to the devil and become Masonic, and then you be the face of the town. Excuse me. And then end up going international, and or go all across the sometimes even across the world, but mainly like across the country or whatever. But I heard that for the New World Order, they're going to make sure that nobody owns anything, including your business. And it's very hard for normal people. Like, I heard that they're shut down mom and pop stores and making way for the fake corporations to rule everything. And before you call somebody fat and greedy, you need to find out about the marketing techniques to manipulate people into consumerism. And you hear that? So, like, now that I'm speaking truth, now they're nothing but the devil disrupting me, trying to disrupt me and try to throw off my focus. So they say that colors like blue and red for Domino's or Dairy Queen or whatever, or yellow and red. I heard that you see those same they say the most basic form of repetition. I mean, they say the most basic form of mind control is repetition. So, and that's part of the brainwashing. So a lot of these Illuminati corporations be having like the same colors. So they said that yellow and red and stuff like that manipulate you into buying, or manipulate you into hunger or something like that. And people even say the color, and I'm wearing yellow. But I heard some people say that the color yellow is Masonic, like black and yellow. And that's the reason why the school buses are black and yellow, and they use bees in the MK Ultra, you know. But with the gang stalking, I haven't really heard. In rare instances, I've heard people mention yellow being part of the gang stalking. But there was a point in time I was being gang stalked. They were experimenting on me, trying to gang stalk me with a whole bunch of orange or a whole bunch of yellow or a whole bunch of pink one time or a whole bunch of green, or but they mainly do red and white, but they can do any color. You know, and people still don't believe me, and even the ones who claim that they're going through this gang stalking right along with me. So I heard that September 18th through the 24th or something like that, that people were on TikTok were warning, saying do not eat those 1 cent burgers from Wendy's, or um don't eat the 50-cent cheap burgers from McDonald's, or whatever, how much from Burger King. Don't eat those burgers and stuff like that. And they were mentioning about um the Simpsons prediction and stuff like that, you know. Well, I wasn't gonna eat them anyway. But coincidentally today I have hamburger patties in the freezer, but I was gonna try to do something different. I was gonna try to well, today I had the last of the cereal, and it was like a half a bowl of cereal. That, and I had um the last corn muffin and a glass of milk, and that was my breakfast. And so I don't know what I'll eat for lunch, but for dinner I'm planning to have like um that I have hamburger patties. They say it's 12 of them in the box. So I was gonna take some hamburger patties and put a slice of cheese on them, a slice or two of cheese on them, to try to hurry up and get rid of that extra cheese, you know, before it go bad, and bake them in the oven, and then boil some rice. They have some boil in a bag rice. I have some boil in a bag rice. I usually don't buy that, but I was really wanted to get some regular rice. But I got some boil in a bag rice, and I got some boil in a bag rice, and I'm gonna have that, and probably have some, like, wash off the kale and cut up the carrots, like have some kale carrots with some coconut oil. Yes, coconut oil, and whatever seasonings I got, you know. and and then I guess I'll have a meat patty with rice and mixed vegetables and cheese, you know. And that'll be my dinner. But I mean, I haven't decided what I would eat for lunch, because I thought that I retired the pork ribs. I don't know if I might take one out to thaw and eat that for lunch with some more mashed potatoes for lunch or something. I haven't decided yet. And a cara orange. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking up some ideas. I don't know for sure, but thinking up ideas. But so yeah, I think I did eat at Dairy Queen less than 10 times for the almost 5 months that I've been there, but I questioned whether or not I should be eating the burgers there because, well, at the Bloomington Dairy Queen, none of that food was good, but like the first time, like I thought that they were advertising the 85-cent blizzards, and that's when I downloaded the app. And or I think they had a national hamburger day or something like that. And so I heard that they're gonna have a national cheeseburger day on Monday or something. And well, I heard certain other places are advertising like discounts and deals on burgers, but everybody's saying like warning. But I don't even know if it's. I mean, I just avoid it to stay on the safe side. But I haven't even had Wendy's in a long time. But it was 2021 or 2022. I had Wendy's only one time that year. And a narcissistic, one of the popular fakes in the TI community, narcissistically lectured me about and condemned me about eating crap food. And I'm like, well, I had only $3 and Wendy's was right across the street. And that was all I had the money for. And I didn't have any money that day. I mean, later on, whatever, all I had was $3. And I don't remember how I got downtown. If that was the case, I think I probably had to panhandle for the money to get back downtown. But yeah, nobody was really trying to help me that day, and all I had was $3. You know what? I probably didn't spend the whole $3. I probably spent $1.89 or something like that, or $1 or something. And I don't even think I got a burger from Wendy's. I think I got chicken nuggets or fries or something like that, And I was attacked with narcissistic lectures about eating crap food. But then when I tried to show him proof of my gang stalking, he ignored the shit out of me. So I got mad and blocked him. That was the fake TI perp the narcissistic fake TI perp that supposedly made like a Hollywood movie or something. And they hail him as a real TI, but all he does is like rant about and tweet about experiences, but he doesn't have any concrete footage or pictures or videos. He just did a whatever movie or something. So the ones who don't have proof, that's who the ones y'all promote as real TIs. But the ones that show their proof are the ones y'all lie and say don't have proof or don't have any real evidence. But I have evidence as late as of last night. I haven't uploaded it yet. But once I get off here, I'm going to upload that first and then upload this. Since that one's much shorter anyway. So, I mean, you see evidence of truth in the proof and you still lie and say it's no evidence. So, that's why people can't even get justice in the courts nowadays. So yeah, I'm questioning whether or not I heard that there was a man who got mad and said that there was human meat in Dairy Queen burgers. And then I heard that they shut him down and said that wasn't true. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot. I should have known better because I wasn't even really eating Dairy Queen or fast food, really. Trying to stay away from fast food. I don't even really eat Taco Bell no more. I don't order Taco Bell no more. But people like to pick on the fast food restaurants. They don't say that whether or not they have toxic food at Red Lobster and Olive Garden and stuff. They like to pick on the fast food. But like Red Lobster, Olive Garden, or Outback Steakhouse, do they have toxic food there too? But I call myself trying to stick to local restaurants, and even they don't even have natural, all organic food. And if it do, it might be like 30 something dollars for a salad, which I can never afford that. Excuse me, for the rich folks. So I may have eaten the Dairy Queen burgers like maybe 4 or 5 times, and maybe once or twice I had the chicken sandwich. But I just felt like the Dairy Queen in Bloomington is gross. But they manipulated and cheated me out the puppy chow blizzard, because like if one time I ordered the puppy chow blizzard and they gave me nothing but chocolate and chocolate swirled in the ice cream. They didn't even like, where's the puppy chow chunks? Where's the cereal? Where's the peanut butter? It's nothing. And another time I try to order maybe once or twice I try to order a peanut butter sundae or blizzard or something. It was just extremely salty peanut butter with no sugar at all. Extremely salty peanut butter and just their whatever. It wasn't even real ice cream, but I guess frosted dairy dessert. And that was just so gross. I mean, I couldn't even eat the doggone peanut butter. I love peanut butter, but not that. And it tasted like it had some kind of sour, like it tasted like it had some chemical in it. The peanut butter. So, well, I don't have any Dairy Queens near me, but they got Dairy Queen, here in Pensacola, or definitely in Gulf Breeze, but I thought they had one on Mobile Highway or maybe 9 Mile Road or something. But I won't be trying to eat Dairy Queen, but it was directly across the street, and I was new and settling in. But if that was McDonald's, or Wendy's or Burger King, I definitely would not have gone. But Dairy Queen, I guess, is less popular, or it's not as big as Burger Queen and Wendy's and McDonald's and all that. But I felt like questioning whether or not I should not have eaten that. I should not have eaten at Dairy Queen. But the Dairy Queen and Gulf Breeze, I tried only one time and it tasted so good. But the Dairy Queen in Bloomington, nasty. I forgot how the Dairy Queen in Cincinnati tasted. They only had chicken sandwiches and chicken related stuff. I'm like, where's the burgers? They didn't even have like meat burgers, But I was poor and struggling, homeless, and staying in hotels and stuff, and that was all I had the money for. Like, all I had was $7, and people didn't want to help me, so I got like the chicken sandwich or maybe chicken tenders or something like that, and there'll be people from India that's rude and racist, be blacker than me, darker than me, and got nerve to want to be racist against me because of me, my skin color, or me because of me being black. But yeah. So, but yeah, I probably should never touch Dairy Queen again. Um, but as I said, I can try to make my own food at home. And if I'm me being wrongfully banned from certain places, well, if I wanted some barbecue chicken pizza, I guess I should learn how to perfect it and try to make it on my own. But the online gang stalkers would say it's my own. If I end up back, they're making threats to make me back homeless on the streets again. And then they said, and then when you become homeless, it will be your own doing. No, it'll be y'all doing, because if y'all were caught, if what you're doing is right, show your face, your real face, and your real name. But y'all are cowards. But then y'all falsely call me a coward. I mean, y'all don't even know me. You think that you know me. You think you know somebody by stalking them, and that's not truly knowing somebody. Or you think you know somebody by false rumors you heard about that person, and that does not really mean that you know me. But as I said, I still wanted to try to make my own living through writing or cooking videos or something like that. But I don't know. I'm still, as I said, still shaken up by the trauma from the Social Security office and don't really have any final closure. And um, so that I feel like something's still dangling over my head. But once I can get closure, then I can go back to living my life, and can rest and relax from all the suffering from homelessness. Try to get a break and rest and relax, and probably have a moment where try to go out in nature or try to go to the beach, but the online gang stalkers and the in-person gang stalkers, they won't allow me they think they got the authority to restrict me from doing that. It's y'all who's the criminals. You don't have the authority to steal another person's rights away. And even when I was living in Los Angeles, people condemned me for going to the beach. But it wasn't nearly as bad as living in Pensacola. So I was homeless on the streets. My name was on a list, the housing list, but I was homeless on the streets all these years while waiting for my name to come up for housing. And all the homeless, and as I said, I'm going to try to not let them make me back homeless again. But when I had a place and didn't even realize that this was part of the gang stalking, I got mad and frustrated and said, I'm not signing any more apartment leases because of all the torture and abuse from neighbors and landlords and the housing authority and everything else, and I didn't realize that this was all part of the gang stalking. But housed or homeless, you still gonna suffer. But I don't even know which is worse. But I need rest and a roof over my head, in which I'm glad I have it now. And nobody has a right to try to run you away from your own home or run you out of the neighborhood just so that they can live whatever sinful crime life that they want to live. So as I said, I don't want to be living here forever, but they want to make sure that you don't get to elevate financially, or move on to better things or accomplish goals. It seems like they destroy everything you try to do. And even when you target it and you try to move in silence, the gang stalkers are everywhere, and they always got you. They always got you. So you being targeted, it seems like I can try to move in silence and still get attacked and sabotaged. So I need more rest. Like yesterday, I was able to take a nap for approximately an hour or an hour and a half, but I don't recall being in a deep sleep or dreaming or anything. It was somewhere around noon yesterday. So I think I'm going to go for now. And, I dread and too sleep deprived and tired to work on cleaning and organization. Well, my place is, generally speaking, clean. But, I just moved up in here. But all the stuff from the storage unit, I have to go through bins and clean and organize the bins. Because the other bags, I took all my stuff out of the bags. excuse me, um, you know, some stuff that other people could use that wasn't of benefit for me, I gave it away. But stuff that was trash, I threw it away. Excuse me, or stuff that couldn't be, that was not usable, I threw it away. But all those bags, I had sorted and sorted certain things out. So the stuff from the bags that I kept for myself, I need to go back and reorganize and try to get all the clothes, and gotta organize and fold them up. And usually I don't fold my clothes. I don't fold my clothes, but they seem like they want you to live a certain controlled way up in here, you know. So, but it's like all these ghetto people up in here that do what the hell they want, and they still living here. They're still living here, you know. So let me go before all the storage space run out on my phone.